It is my great pleasure to introduce Jean-Charles Moyen and Melanie Charest, who are both contactees and have had experiences with different extraterrestrials and secret space programs. And they have had their own different experiences with rescues of children that have been taken by negative extraterrestrials into deep state facilities or off-world facilities. And also, Jean-Charles in particular has been teleporting to some fascinating locations on Earth. And more recently, he has projected himself into a space ark under a cavern lake somewhere in the Nazca plains of Peru.
You are listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Salla, your source for the uncensored truth regarding the human, extraterrestrial, global, and political agenda. Click the like button and subscribe to this channel. And now, here's Dr. Michael Salla.
Well, welcome Jean-Charles and Melanie to Exopolitics Today.
Hello, Michael. Thank you to receive us today.
Yes, it's great to have you both here. Well, let's begin with this experience that Corina Pataki described, where she says that she was being held in an off-planet location in a deep state facility where she was being abused along with other young girls. And then there was a rescue mission involving two very special people. So she mentioned you. So let me play that video clip so that we can hear what Corina had to say, and then I'd like you to respond. So I'll play the video clip now.
After that, I had a memory that came up in a dream. And in the memory, I was what it seemed like on a spaceship, because the floor seemed to be like very, it was a metal floor. Everything was very sterile. And I was on the floor. I was between, I would say, 8 years old and maybe nine and a half, or seven and a half and 9 years old. And Melanie was over me like a mother, holding me. And Jean-Charles was standing probably 5 feet behind, like watching guard. And my whole body was jerking. In other words, I was seeing what was being done to me through my eyes, but I was feeling it physically in my body at that moment in time. And they were using some very high frequency on me. It was so hot. It was such a high frequency that my whole body was lifting off the ground and jerking, convulsing. And it didn't really hurt, but it was so scary. And Melanie was over me saying, it's okay, in her beautiful French accent, it's okay, Corina, I'm here. You're safe, you're safe, you're safe. So that's when the memory started coming like that. And then it started connecting with the fact that I remembered that I was on a planet. I was on a planet, like I was telling you before, a very dark planet, a very industrial looking planet. And I knew that somebody saved me. And then Melanie had a memory of going and rescuing children from this planet, this dark-looking planet. And there were children inside, behind in a room, I believe she said, like in cages. And she said, Corina, I saw you. Can that be possible? So I took the memories that I had, that age, and what happened to me, because I knew when I was at least 2 years old, I was taken off planet. So that means that they've kept me between the age of, I don't know, almost 2 to about 8 or 9 years old. So then it's like, it makes sense. Of course it makes sense. So that's how their involvement in my rescuing took place. Now, when I was at the Black Sea, when I was 4 years old, these ones helped me by correcting the damage that the evil or the negative military and the negative extraterrestrial had caused when I was 2 years old, when they tried to break open my ability to alter and bring their timelines in. So this is kind of, the physical help and the rescuing, how it kind of took place.
So Jean-Charles and Melanie, you want to respond to what Corina shared there in that interview?
Yes. Melanie?
I'm very emotional with of see this because I never saw this interview with you. My God. Okay. I write in English, because my English it's not very, very good. I take a note, okay, for explain a good explanation for this extraction mission. Okay. We had when we make this extraction mission with Jean-Charles, we had only one idea: to go and get this little girl, because we knew she was going to become an important woman in the disclosure process. Or I want to explain my memories come for this mission. We left the Solaris ship with the shuttle ship. The number of this ship, the shuttle ship, is C3627, because all shuttle have a number on, and I remember this. And traveled in the space-time to find her. I remember GC and I were warmed, and we were walking very fast in a long corridor in the in the basement, and we were walking very fast in this a long corridor. I don't remember where it was exactly, but it didn't seem to be on Earth. But I don't know where is it. Maybe Corina know. She explained she explained you where is it exactly, or no?
No, she didn't give
No.
me a precise location.
Okay, yeah.
Just off planet.
Yeah, it's off planet. Yeah. So on one side there was a wall, like a wall, and another side where the kind of room closed with a metal doors, like a prison cell. Okay, and all the doors were open. Yeah, like this. And as if all the children in captivity were gathered in another room. We looked into the cells while walking fast. It was a very stressful. I remember we have weapon, and we walking fast, and we just like this and checking the cell room and another, because we want la trouver, to find her, but she's not there. And after because I think the children is all the children, there's another place, another room. And after we found the little girl, who was about around seven years old. She stayed a captive for 4 to 6 years, but in the Earth time, she disappeared for 12 days only, because it's not the same time. She was no more than 2 years old when she was brought to the Black Sea by her nursery. This guy, they tried to unlock some of her mind's abilities to change timeline for their benefits, but they couldn't. We took her back to the Solaris ship where she was traded, and we broke her back into the timeline of the age of 2. Corina today remembers being rescued by GC and me. She remembers me taking for her in my arms and telling her everything will be all right now. She remembers that she was about around 7 years old at the time of the rescue, and that GC and I were adult. When we met in 2023, all 3 of us recognized each other. All 3 of us had memoir feedbacks. GC the same days as her, and me a few days later. And we were able to join our puzzle piece together. And after, in the February 2024, we spent a week with Corina in her city and celebrate our 2 birthdays, which are 1 day apart. And we were lucky enough to be hosted by Laura, who is a very close friend of Corina, and who was also become her friends. And we discovered many links together too. For the birthday, it's the link too for me, for her too, and I love this woman. She's a beautiful soul.
Quite an amazing experience. So just to recapitulate before Jean-Charles adds his memories of this incident. So it sounds as though Corina was trapped on this planet off-world where she was being abused along with other young children. And if it wasn't for your rescue, she would have been there for a lot longer. But you rescued her, and then you, as you said, time regressed her and dropped her off. So were you part of, was this a kind of a secret space program, or are we talking about an extraterrestrial program that you were a part of, you and Jean-Charles?
J'ai pas tout compris. La
Il
question.
demande si c'était en fait dans le programme spatial secret humain ou extraterrestre. Non, c'était humain, c'était ici.
Je sais pas la réponse à ça, moi.
For me, it's my answer, not for Melanie.
Because I don't have this answer for...
This answer. But for me, I felt it was in a human secret space program. Because my appearance was Jean-Charles, not Luca or Lyra.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Well, it truly is a remarkable experience. Jean-Charles, is there anything you want to share about the rescue? I mean, you were a part of that. What do you recall?
Yes, my friend, because in the same night, I remember when I wake up in the morning, I say to Melanie, oh my God, that's very strange, because I dreamed about Corina when she was young. And I remember I was stand in the front of a little girl, and I was sure it was her. And I was in a corridor, just only this. And at the same moment, I wake up and I take my phone. I open my phone and I have a vocal message of Corina. And she tell me, oh my gosh, Jean-Charles, I want to share you something. And it was amazing because she described in the night, I have a memories rise, and it was in a corridor, and I was a little girl, and I was in the arm of Melanie, rescue me, and you are back, stand like a guard, and it was the same detail. And I was, oh my God, I have a chills. And the same message at the same moment when I wake up. It's amazing corroboration.
Yes, that is truly an amazing corroboration. Now, you and Melanie were working together on the Solaris, doing these kinds of missions where you would travel to these deep state facilities to rescue children. So you want to explain, or Melanie explain, what kind of work you were doing with the on the Solaris, and how that was linked with the extraterrestrials.
Yes, our mission with Melanie was to rescue and save some different people, beings, humans in through the galaxy, you know. And sometimes we must together go down in the deep of different planets with a prison, and we were with the team. We had a team with special abilities. Each person in a team had a special abilities, and the gathering of this team was able to save and rescue for the mission. We had together different lives together, lives like John Charles and Melanie, and before that we were together in another incarnation as extraterrestrial, and we did the same thing before we came to Earth, save and rescue, but as extraterrestrial body.
Yes, I think that is remarkable that you remembered doing these missions, and I remember interviewing Melanie and watching Melanie give presentations where she described her rescue missions of children, and then to have this corroboration from Corina is really unique. I mean, it's rare to have a third party kind of corroborate not just that Melanie was involved in the missions, but also Jean Charles. Very remarkable.
Yes, and the first time we saw Corina in Orlando, we felt a strong link, and it was very strange. But at the end of the conference, we must go to the airport, and we were separated, and we don't have the time to say goodbye. And when we were in a lineup on the custom, we saw suddenly Corina.
This big airport.
It's a big airport on Orlando. We saw Corina in another lineup, and she was exciting. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! And finally, at the end of the custom, we join her, and she tell us, "Oh, you don't imagine, because I was, oh my God, I want to meet John Charles and Melanie. Please, 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 God, please, please send me us." And we are here. How many chance? And it's not finished, because we must go to a different way, because we go to Canada and she go to USA. But there is a problem with his flight. And the flight was, not canceled, but directed in another way. And she was in the front of the same gate of us. And we spent 1 hour and a half together to spoke a lot of things. And, the sky answer yes. And at this moment, we was very, connected. The gathering was, indestructible. And this is a part of the link we have with Corina, because we know Corina before we met her in Orlando. It's 100% sure of that.
Yeah, it is truly an amazing corroboration, and I think it's also makes it very clear that you were involved, along with Melanie, in rescuing children that were being abducted and abused in these deep state negative extraterrestrial programs, both on Earth and off planet.
Exactly. We made a lot of mission together, and not only on Earth, but in another world, another timeline, because we travel in a timeline. This is the explanation, because for people saw this interview, it's important because they saw, oh, we have the same age of Corina. How it's possible that she had 8 and we are together 15? So
50.
no, because we travel through the time, like for Tony when I was young as Charlie, and I travel to the time and I advise Tony, don't go to this way. And Tony say to me, Tony Rodriguez, my dear friend, my brother, he say, I must do this because in the future I must disclose what's happened in space. So let me go to this way. And I let him to this way. But I traveled through the time to advise him, like we save her, So we can travel through the time because we have this technology in the future, and the extraterrestrial and the secret space program have a lot of technology they hidden to the humanity. So we can travel. This is the explanation for people don't understand how it's possible because we have the same age. It's important to clarify.
Now, Melanie, I know that you yourself went through a similar experience where you as a child were taken and was being abused, and then you were rescued. So you want to just briefly explain the transition of you being rescued and then you beginning to work with the Solar World and to rescue other children.
OK. Faire comme un résumé de ce qui m'est arrivé.
Ouais. She want to resume a short.
You want a resume or?
Yeah.
Short, yes, please.
Yeah. OK. I don't have a note in English.
Okay.
OK. When I have 4 years old, I have abduction par les Greys. By a Grey, and he keep me for hybridation, and it's a very short explanation, but it's a resume. And when a team rescue me, and after my rescue, I want to make a rescue. Je veux faire partie d'une équipe.
No, she wants to be a part of rescue team after his rescue.
Yeah. And I make a class for make a graduation. Training. And I update.
Yeah.
Update. And after I make a rescue in the Solaris ship. And that's a little resume, but it's like this. And after we make a rescue with Jean-Charles, but me, I stay on the ship at the Solaris. And when the team of Jean-Charles go to extraction, and come back to the ship, my team and we keep the children for treatment and
Take care
and with
rehabilities
and with a med bed too. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, that is very important that you went through your own transition and experiences being rescued, and then helping rescue others in these programs.
Yeah, and in this earth with this body, I work with the children too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And just to clarify, just so people, because you said addiction, but what you meant to say that you were abducted by grey extraterrestrials that took you and started this abuse before you were rescued. Well, now I want to shift over to a remarkable remote viewing that was done with Tony Rodriguez in Sedona. So before, I just want to show the opening scenes from that remote viewing. But before doing that, do you want to say anything about how you ended up in Sedona and how this remote viewing emerged?
No. Just go to the to the presentation, and after we talk, I think it's better for you know.
All right. Let's play that. So we'll play it now.
Hello. Today it's a special day. I made a target for my friend about the remote viewing. What they discovered, it's amazing. And today I will share what they found.
Okay, so let me pause it there. We can come back if we want. But you want to tell us about this remote viewing that Tony Rodriguez conducted in Sedona.
Yes. Oh, this is a question.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. Yes. First of all, it was not plane. We go to Sedona. It was suddenly we decide to take the plane to visit Tony, and I was a speaker for it was not plane. And during this conference he made in Sedona, I discovered more information about the remote viewing, and I was very interested by this. And I said to Tony, could you? I want to try something, and he explained to me how he proceed to make a remote viewing. It take me, you must write on the letter what you want to we found, and with some information, take in the envelope and close and put in a place, and no one have information about what it was inside the letter. So it's very important. So no clue, nothing. And he tried with his team. He have a amazing team around him to find what is the target. And the only thing they found, it was something block the energy to go through the like a wall of black energy. They felt something very strange hidden, but each person found the same thing. We can go through. So he was little disappointed, but he say, I'm disappointed, but that's very suspicious that no one can find this. So he say, maybe there is something very secret behind this. So we decide to put the target on the table and say to Veronica, is an amazing girlfriend, could you want to try? And she say, I want to try. And we were speechless, my friend, because it's not only she discovered a little detail, she discovered everything with detail, and she lived the same thing I lived inside this envelope. And the thing was, in a 12 October, I was teleported under the Earth in Nazca, Peru, and I was, yes, what lies beneath the Nazca Plateau in Peru? And I discovered a cavern with a water and a stalactite. And inside the water, there was an ark, a big spaceship. And everything I describe in this letter, Veronica found everything with accurate, precisely the sensation, the feeling, the water, the form of the wave, the color of the metal, and she discovered something around this spaceship don't want access to the information. Something very dark block the remote viewing, but Veronica is very, very powerful, and she success to pass through the barrier. And she discovered there is something don't want to access, like the team of Tony, the remote viewing team. So we are at the same, the same thing, but she go through, and she discovered the spaceship. She discovered what's happened to me. She was, like a spectator. She was like it was like she watched a movie. She was like this, and she saw me with the beings I met inside the spaceship, and I describe in a letter, but I wrote everything here. More detail that I was in a spaceship. A creature, beings name me Shaska, not welcome John Charles, but in my mind, in telepathy, beings of light tell me welcome Chaska. Chaska, Chaska. And I say, what's mean Chaska? And Chaska mean in a Peruvian language, in an old Inca language, shining star. Because it's right. Shining star. Welcome, shining star. That's curious, because you remember when I was in Mount Fuji, welcome Oshi. And Oshi in Japanese mean stars, like a star seed. So another corroboration, something linked with me and the stars, is again in the Peru. And when I was in the front of the spaceship and these beings, there is a symbol like a circle, represent a wave, like a sound wave.
Spiral?
A spiral. Exactly, thank you. A spiral. And this spiral, when I touched the spiral, it was a bright light, blue bright light, and I was sucked into the light, and I was inside the spaceship. There is a dashboard with a lot of crystal in different color. There is a seat with like translucid, and the color was very, very accurate in a blue and emerald, and this detail was described perfectly by Veronica. She said, I saw a lake, like something, in a video, she described a lot, because she explained,
She described the stalactite too.
The blue water.
Yeah.
She describes the form inside. She describes the beings with a voice.
Le Disney.
She drew the same thing.
Spaceship.
The spaceship. So it was amazing remote viewing, because it corroborates that I am able, like I'll explain every time, to, teleport myself in a different place in an arc. And I asked to Victor how it's possible to move like this. And he explained to me, when I was young, I was able to teleport myself physically, but now I can stay at the same place, but I can duplicate my molecular structure, and in another place, my molecular structure like a double of me, but really I can touch, I can feel, I can smell, I can do anything. So it's very, it's physical, I can duplicate myself at the molecular, structure. So this is the explanation why now it's different. But when I was young, I was able to move physically, but not at the same thing. My abilities was update or evolution. I don't know, but something is corroborate that Veronica saw exactly what she is in the envelope with no clues, no details, no information. She wasn't. She say, okay, I don't know nothing, and I try. And when she closes her eyes, she tell me, I saw everything. I was there, like you, Jean-Charles. I remember the same thing. I felt the water. I was able to and I felt I was a difficulty to breathe because she was under the lake, and she described every detail accurate.
She described the emotion. She described the ambience. She described the colors. All. She very
yes, and
powerful.
she described there is something hidden under.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, under the lake. Very, very, very old, many centuries was hidden for humanity, and there is something very important inside. But some dark forces don't want to disclose this. This is the reason why we have a trouble to go to this remote viewing. And I was very, very impressed that she found this. And she tell me, because it's a Latin America, she was linked to Latin America, and she wrote a book about the Peru too. And the Peru is a place where Tony was captivated, was wrapped. And I don't know this information. And Tony say, oh my God, I was in a Peru when there was a human trafficking, remember? And I say, no. And it's another corroboration. Again, we were at the same place. And in the Peru, Veronica is linked to the Peru, Tony is linked to the Peru. That's insane. And did you see the remote viewing video complete? It's amazing, right?
Yes, it is. Now, for people that are watching, I want to just summarize what you just said, because you said a lot there. And for people that are trying to follow what happened, Jean-Charles has described where he essentially bilocated, which is an evolution of teleportation. When he was young, he would teleport to different locations, but now he's learned the skill, or developed the skill, of bilocating. And so he was able to bilocate. You were able to bilocate to this place in Peru under the Nazca plains, where you were inside of this cavern. And inside of this cavern, there was a lake, and there were stalactites and vegetation and so forth. And at the bottom of the lake was this space ark. And so you described touching the space ark and going inside of the space ark. And so what you did when you visited, and like several weeks later, you then visited Tony, Rodriguez, and Veronica in Sedona, and you gave Tony a remote viewing experiment where you just gave the target, and in the target, and I just wanted to kind of like show that target for people so that they can properly understand exactly what we're talking about. You just gave this target. Well, you gave a target to Tony, which just said, well, maybe you can explain what the target was. Hang on, let me do this screen share. But it was double blind because you gave the target to Tony in an envelope, so he didn't know what the target was, and then he gave that information to a team of remote viewers. They couldn't find out what was there; they were being blocked.
Yes.
And so then Tony handed that the target coordinates to Veronica, who is a expert remote viewer, and she was able to see all of these incredible details that you've described. But here's the target. So you want to just kind of read out or say what the target was that you put into the remote viewing?
Yeah, this is only the target in the envelope, but anybody don't know what is in the envelope. Okay, it's only the envelope with a number on the envelope, and we give this to the Tony and the team of Tony, and everybody have only a number. That's it. No
drawing.
No drawing, nothing. No aucune.
No information.
No information.
Nothing.
Only a number on the envelope.
I don't remember. It was like a 7, 8.
Yeah,
3,
you put a number, and Jean-Charles put this drawing in the envelope, and he gave the envelope, and that's it. And the team of Tony make a meditation, make concentration, and after they write what he feel, what they feel, what they smell, and the team of Tony, he see only the place of Quebec. And yes. Tony said, I don't know why, but all the team see a bridge of à côté de chez vous.
Close to us. There is a bridge close to us, and he saw a bridge in Quebec. The only things.
Everybody see that.
That's weird because we're in Quebec.
I don't know why, and Tony said maybe have another team block.
Yes.
With mind block and for no people pour que personne puisse rentrer dans l'arche.
That nobody can enter to the ark. So another team, maybe a government team, or you know what I mean, have same abilities, but they made a barrier. Don't cross the barrier, and they protect this to don't have access.
Tony said maybe it's this. It's this.
Yes.
Okay. So what we see now on the screen is the written instructions with some diagrams that are based on your bilocation to this place underneath Nazca. And so this was a double blind experiment because Tony didn't know what it was, and he handed off the envelope with the numbers on it to different remote viewers who tried different things. And in the instructions in the envelope, you had like what lies beneath the Nazca Plateau in Peru. You have a diagram, and then you have a cavern with stalactites, and then underneath you have what looks like it's an ark. You've mentioned an ark, and there's a portal connecting the ark to other locations.
Yes,
and then you have the name Chaska that you were referring to. So that was in the envelopes. That's important, and that's what Veronica tried to. Well, that's what she was remote viewing effectively, and she came up with some very interesting diagrams that kind of like showed what it was. So here's one of the diagrams she had, and it showed. Oops, let's go here back again. So it shows.
See the detail. It's amazing.
I mean, it shows a kind of mountainous area, plateau area.
Yes.
It shows a cave. It shows a lake with a spacecraft in it. So you want to talk about this? I know you've already been talking about it, but anything more you want to add to this kind of like glyph that Veronica remote viewed and recorded, and how that matched your experience?
Yes,
Peux-tu expliquer un peu ça?
I was very, very amazed, but because it's when we lived this experience in real time, in live with this, we were very emotional, because when she say, she was, like very surprised. And what was the target? And Melanie opened the letter, and she was tears and say, oh my God. And after that, I say, could you read what I read exactly after the detail in the envelope? And it was exactly the same thing. It is the best experience I ever had in my life about remote viewing, because this is a real proof that this woman have amazing abilities to it's crazy when you saw the detail.
Look, she write a mountain.
Yes.
The mountain, and it's true. It's in the mountain because it's in the Nazca, Peru.
Yes.
And do you see the people down?
Yes, there is
downstairs?
A little, drawing.
She drawing a little people, and she put trying to block, or maybe these people, it's a guys or people block with the mind for protecting the ark. Maybe.
Yes, exactly.
She said that, and she write the liberation. Liberation downstairs. She put liberation, and we know Jean-Charles go to the spaceship, the ark. Now you have eight ark. You go
now,
link with 8.
I was in a contact with 8 ark now,
and maybe we need to know where's the ark for. Maybe it's for the liberation. I don't know, but she write this and go. Yeah, this. The straight line in the top line.
Yes.
That's a stalactite. Stalactite, and look, another people 1, 2, 3, 4. She drawing 4 people in the middle of paper. Do you see? And she put the flesh arrow because they look a woman and a man.
Me
man
and the beings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man is a Jean-Charles, and another, Veronica said, she's a woman.
They look at us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
when I was inside the spaceship, I remember there is a portal like a bubble soap inside. And when I put my hand over, I was stuck inside. And at this moment, I saw the beings tell me, "Welcome, Chaska." But I was another portal, each time I was teleport inside a ark, there is a portal in the middle, like say my dear friend GP. Each time there is a portal.
yeah, and look the downstairs of the page, blue artifact.
Yes.
She put important.
Yes.
Okay, the blue artifact is important. Why? Because it's a door.
It's a portal.
It's a portal.
Blue artifact. It's like a door. It's a door. Portal. It's a door. To go another way.
And she write opening door. Ça c'était quoi? Proving story. C'était quoi? Proving. I don't know what is proving.
Proving story?
Proving story, yeah.
Ah oui.
But prove the story.
Proving alien contact.
Yeah.
Opening door, giant door, opportunity expansion, recon, blue artifact.
All she write.
Yes.
It's right.
Mean something very important. And she writes this with nothing, and inside the envelope there is some information.
I'm very impressive.
But after she showed us what she found, I opened the envelope. Melanie opened the envelope and say what's inside the target. But after that, I say, could you please read what I wrote in detail? And the detail inside this sheet of paper is inside her book.
And she put a star.
Yes.
She make a star with the arrow.
Yes.
A point of two people, Jean-Charles and woman.
Yes. Yes, a star. And remember, she named me Chaska. Chaska is shining star. And there is a star drawing with two people, so linked to the star.
Everything is there.
Yes, everything is there. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Right, and so in this remote viewing and these glyphs that Veronica sketched of what she was seeing underneath the ark, she was able to see some of the history of the ark. And so these two people, a man and a woman, that they were linked to the ark. So in what way were they linked to the ark? Were they like the crew of the ark, or were they just being transported by the ark? How were the two people that she saw linked to the ark, and what do you know of that, Jean-Charles and Melanie?
The two people is me and the beings. Because when she remote viewing this, she saw 3 or 4 people.
Ça c'est toi, puis
She saw a lot of people block the
remote viewing.
The remote viewing, but the two people under the stars represent me and the woman. The woman, what the beings? It was a woman being's light with me. So the two people sketched in this paper represent myself and the other woman. That she felt this. She described, but because when I was inside this ark, I was me, Jean-Charles, a man, and I met a woman. So these two persons.
C'était qui la femme?
It was for me. It was the guardian. She was a guardian of the ark.
I see. So those two beings, that's actually you, Jean Charles, and the
Yes,
guardian of the
exactly,
ark.
exactly,
That's
exactly.
very fascinating that Veronica was able to see that.
Yes.
One of the other things that really impressed me by what Veronica remote viewed was that she was able to identify ancient technologies inside of the spacecraft, as well as writings in
Mhm.
the spacecraft or in the ark, which is exactly what JP has described when he was on the arks in the Atlantic and the moon, that it was ancient technology and this kind of ancient hieroglyphic writing on the walls. And that was also confirmed in another remote viewing that was done by Dick Allgaier and his they were called crypto viewing at the time. Now they have a different name, but his team of 5 remote viewers confirmed what JP saw on the ark, and here Veronica through remote viewing is seeing something very similar.
Exactly, exactly. We are a lot of corroboration with GP travel, and yes, yes, of course, 100%, of course, yes.
Okay, so here's the last page of Veronica's remote viewing, where she is describing more about the 2 beings, and they're described as siblings. So, I mean, you've already mentioned that the 2 beings are like the custodian of the ark and you, Jean Charles, but here she's describing the 2 beings as siblings.
Yes.
And that they have a big timeline mission. So you want to talk a little bit about that. What does that mean? Are you a sibling to this custodian of this space ark in Peru or under the Nazca plains?
What do you mean by sibling?
Sibling like brother, sister.
Ah, brother, sister?
Yeah, brother or sister.
I don't know if it's linked by something like this, but I think it's a link by something very powerful, but not sister and brother. But each starseed is sister and brother, so maybe it's the good answer. But for me, I don't felt it was my sister, but I felt a strong link with these beings too.
Maybe for help you.
Maybe, yes, for maybe quoi?
Peut-être pour t'aider.
Or maybe she was there to help me for open something, or but it's not a chance that I was in contact with these beings too, like in another arc.
Yeah, c'est comme
I
ton
see.
arc. It's like an arc of
Mount
Mount
Fuji.
Fuji.
Yes, Mount Fuji with Kono and Utsu. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, for those that don't know the story of the space ark under Mount Fuji,
Yes.
Kono and Utsu, you want to just briefly summarize your experience there at Mount Fuji with the custodian of the ark and what you experienced when you did this bilocation to this space ark under the Nazca Plains.
Yes, when I was young in France, in 1976, I was 7 years old, and I met a woman inside the Mount Fuji, and I drawing in my little journal the space ark inside the Mount Fuji, and 48 later, I discovered in different museum in Japan that they write a story as a Utsu, name of the guardian of a space ark inside the Mount Fuji. And when I was young, I was teleported inside the Mount Fuji, inside this ark, and these beings, Utsu, named me Oshi, not John Charles. And Oshi means stars, like a star seed. And after that, when I was adult, I was connected again with these beings, and she introduced me to another beings, and it was Kono. A Kono is the goddess of the Mount Fuji. So again, I was connected with the ark, and I wrote everything in my little journal because we made together, my friend. There is 2 years, I guess now, an interview with my journal when I was young, accounting space ark in Guardian of the Mount Fuji, and there is a lot of information, but the Mount Fuji, I was there, and I remember there is a portal inside the ark, and I follow the Kono, the goddess, and we go through a portals, and we were teleported together inside another ark in a Mauna Kea volcano in Hawaii. And she tell me every ark is connected by a portals, and the portals and the ark of the Mauna Kea is connected to the Mount Fuji too, because there is a Japanese people lived in Hawaii and lived in Japan, and there is a connection. And I had the chance to have this link, particular link, because my DNA is special, and I was the abilities to open and something with interaction. Thank you. With this ark, and each time there is a name, different name in different language, but each time it means something linked to the stars, star seed, Chaska, or some word mean each time linked to the stars.
Oshi.
Oshi, yes.
Oshi.
No.
So you've been in quite a number of space arcs now that you've been transported to, or that you either teleported to, or you bilocated to. So I mean that, and you've come up with evidence and corroboration for several of those. I mean, now we have corroboration for Nazca, we've had corroboration for Mount Fuji,
Bermuda,
and Bermuda. There's corroboration as that in terms of what JP has seen. So you've seen or you've experienced 6 or 7 or 8, I think you said now, space arcs in different parts of the planet. So I mean, that's very interesting. What do you think is happening? Why are you playing this role of traveling to these different space arcs and letting the world know what is there?
Pas ton rôle, connecté avec toutes ces 8 tâches.
That's a very hard question, because I think maybe I can activate something inside, but I'm not the only one can activate. This is important. There is a lot of different person with a special DNA can activate this arc. And I guess this arc, when the arc rise, they give to the humanity what we need now, because there is a lot of awakening happen now. There is a lot of thing happen now. The humanity awaken at this moment, and I'm 100% sure in a close future, in months, or we are very close for a big disclosure about extraterrestrial. There is a lot of sighting in the sky, not good sighting for a lot of things. You know what I mean? There is a lot of sight, but we must be careful what we saw. Okay. But we felt inside of the humanity that the ark is awakened for something very important, to rise and awake acknowledge for a lot of things, like a medbed, like a consciousness, like a, and I think that something happened in the world, like say JP, he traveled a lot of in a lot of ark too. So he corroborates that something was activated inside this ark at this moment. So I think the best is yet to come now.
Well, this is a challenging question, but I need to ask it. JP has been on several ARC missions, and it's very clear that the military, not just from the US, but other countries, have a great interest in the ARCs. Now, you've traveled to these ARCs through bilocation, through teleportation. You've been inside, you've seen things. Have you been approached by the intelligence community to share what you experienced?
Not yet.
Why is that? Because people will ask, they'll say, well, if Jean-Charles has been to all these arcs,
yeah,
how come the military aren't crashing through the door and saying, hey, tell us what's going on? And, well, what's happening is, you want to explain?
Because they know what it was inside, but they can't open it right now. So I think there is a lot of things they know, but the hidden things. I know there is a lot of, in government, there is a good side and a bad side. And I guess the good side know what it was inside the ark. So they don't need to knock to my door and say, what do you know? Because they can travel through the time. They have access to hidden technology. The government have access a lot of things. So they don't need, me or something else, because
Well, let me press you a little bit on that, because I don't think the good side does know what's happening inside of these arcs. I mean, we're talking about the good side of the military, okay? And I'm sure there's some good people in the military, but they don't have the genetics or the consciousness. They're not very loving people.
yes,
They're tough people to get to that position. So they don't have that knowledge or access that you have as a more pure-hearted, more loving, more consciously aware person. And here you are going into these different space arcs. So it sounds to me, I mean, if they haven't, knocked on your door, crashed through it and said, tell us what's happening, there must be another explanation. Maybe there's some sort of agreement. Maybe they've been warned off. Maybe, I don't know, you work with a group of extraterrestrials, Victor. They must be playing a role in ensuring that you aren't harassed. That it seems to me that you have a mission to reveal the existence of the arcs, and the government, the militaries, the corporations are all desperate to know themselves, but they can't just take you. And
they take me. There is a long time when I was young, when I was teenager, when I was adult with a Men in Black experience in France, and suddenly they stop. But I had already a problem with this person. They know my abilities. They want I work for them, and I say no. And after that, they give up. But maybe they're watching me. But they don't knock to my door because they know where I am. They can knock to my door. No problem. If they want to take a coffee, I'm okay. But I had a problem. I already had a problem, with this person.
Well, another explanation might be that you are currently in two timelines. Here's Jean-Charles.
Yes.
This timeline, but on the other timeline, you are Jean-Charles in the secret space program, and that Jean-Charles in the secret space program is somehow protecting you because you're playing this disclosure role.
Yes, you're right. Exactly. We have a multiverse too, so we must work in a different timeline as me, as Melanie, as Tony, and GP too, because my explanation is present, past, and future have the same thing, because everything is at the same timeline, and sometimes we can jump into different timeline, and sometimes we say, oh my God, I have a deja vu, because we do the same thing at the same moment. So you're right. Yes.
Okay, well, I've interviewed you now, I think this is 5 times, 6 times, and each time you've always surprised me with new information, more corroboration, more evidence supporting your incredible experiences. And I mean, I know you've done 2 films already, well, several films on your, there's non-fiction based on fact, and then there's the kind of fact-based documentaries you've done, Starseed Revelations. So what are you working on now?
Oh, I'm working into my 6th movie, Starseed Revelation 3, Japan Connection, with my link to my past life as Oshi when I was in Sendai, many century, and my link with Kono and the ark of the Mount Fuji. This is a surprise. I work very, very hard for this, because it's not easy to find the accurate detail. I work with a historian in Japanese, and they know a lot of things about this. I work to my book of my life too. So it's a very, very, very hard work for me. I know, like you say, my friend, people love video and people love book. And this book will be, something very important for people prefer to read, because, we have, like you say, people like book and people don't like book. So it was a long time. You tell me, Jean-Charles, my dear friend, when you realize a book, and each time I say, yes, Michael, I do it. And each time I make a movie. And Melanie tell me, go to this book now. And I say, okay. But now it's official. I'm working to this book. So in English and in French. So I swear it's on the way. Okay.
Wonderful. And you, Melanie, are you also making progress on a book project with your amazing experiences?
Yeah, my book progress too, but little progress.
Yes, darling.
Okay, all right. Well, it's important to have the intention, and then you somehow find a way to make that happen. So where do people go, Jean-Charles and Melanie, to learn more about your experiences, watch your videos?
Mm-hmm.
What's the best website?
But my website is simple. It's GC Moyen, MOYEN.com. It's French, but if you take /EN, it's English version. You have every documentary and movie about my life and the life of Melanie too, because this is a simple way to find all my documentary. GCMoyen.com.
Well, I want to thank you both, Jean-Charles and Melanie, for being on Exopolitics Today and sharing your remarkable experiences, both with Corina Pataki and in rescuing her when she was a child while you were serving in the secret space program, and also with the bilocation to this new space ark that we've just learned about under the plains of Nazca, Peru. So thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear friend.
Michael.
Take care.
Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you.
You have been listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Sala. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Join or start a conversation in the comments. Take the time to explore the vast library of best-selling books, webinars, and podcasts by Dr. Sala. Visit exopoliticstoday.com.